This is an SML character that has slept with 0 people, has never cheated, and probably doesn't even know what cheating is. An absolute saint, right? And this character is an absolute bop, selling her bathwater, being in multiple situationships, and having 4.5 kids. So today, we're gonna be comparing SML characters from most to least loyal. And trust me, by the time we get to the number 1 on the Unfaithful list, you're gonna question everything you thought you knew about them. But let's start back with the most innocent, starting with Scooter. When we look at Scooter, the reason we can call Scooter completely loyal is because he probably doesn't even know what dating is. And he also has a super innocent view of the world. Hell, the best pickup line he said is when he asked Mario if he could eat his grass without the GR.
Well, for $20, I'll eat your grass.
You'll eat my grass?
Yeah, and for $21, I'll take the GR away.
You'll take the GR away?
Yeah, and grass.
One time we've seen Scooter be loyal is in SML movie Rich Scooter. In this video, we see that Scooter gets hit by Mr. Goodman while riding scooters with Jeffy. And Scooter doesn't even spend the money. He basically just gives it all away for free. So yeah, clearly Scooter's pretty loyal. All showing that if he ever got into a real relationship, I don't think his spouse would ever have anything to worry about.
Yep, because she even went to a guy's house. I saw it through a window. She was giving him CPR. Then they caught on fire because they took off all their clothes and started stop, dropping, and rolling.
Moving past Scooter, we're gonna go to someone who's actually been in a relationship, even if it's not normal. Let's take a look at our next character, Shrek. Shrek is ironically one of the most loyal characters in SML, but that loyalty is directed to one person, or should I say thing, which is Cheesecake. We've seen that Shrek takes his relationship with Cheesecake a little too seriously. We've literally seen this man ask his Cheesecake to talk dirty to him in SML movie The Bird. And we've even seen that when it comes time for Valentine's Day, he's more than ready to have an absolutely unforgettable experience with his Cheesecake in the bathroom.
You want me to join you? Oh, don't mind if I do. Oh, yes. I think I got chowder in my face. Oh, yes.
Shrek also makes it extremely clear that he's ready to die for his cheesecake, as we see in videos like SML movie Shrek's Diet, where Mario gets onto Shrek for being extremely unhealthy, eating cheesecake constantly, forcing him to stay on the toilet always. This is normal until Shrek starts having a heart attack and almost passing out. And what's the only thing he does to help? He starts trying to eat more cheesecake. He's told by Brooklyn Guy that he's gonna have to stop eating cheesecake and work out, which he does at first, but even after he gets lean, he simply can't help himself, and goes all out on cheesecake, getting fat again. That's pretty obsessive, but who's somebody who's just gonna be completely faithful to their partner without anything strange about it? Well, we get a shining example of this when we look at the final character in this category, that being Chief. Chief is an interesting character in the sense that we don't know a lot about his personal life, but what we do know is that he has a wife which happens to be the green M&M, and he takes the relationship with her very seriously. In SML movie Jealous Brooklyn Guy, we see the Chief's wife minding her own business until she gets robbed out of nowhere, with Brooklyn Guy and Simmons chasing her. Simmons is then able to eventually catch the robber after Brooklyn Guy gets distracted by a lucky penny, causing Simmons to catch him and receive a raise. After this, Brooklyn Guy gets jealous and hatches a plan to kidnap the Chief's wife and save her to get the praise. They kidnap her, and because of this, Chief is super worried and wants her to be rescued, showing how serious he takes their relationship with one another.
Right behind you!
What's that? Oh, there you are! I found you!
Brooklyn Guy fakes saving her, and then blames Simmons and Luigi, causing Simmons to get in trouble, and Chief to be reunited with his wife, much to his relief. Moving past the completely loyal characters, let's take a look at our characters that aren't quite faithful in their relationships. And to start, let's look at 2 characters who seriously can't seem to get enough of each other for all the wrong reasons. Those being Officer Top and Bottom. Officer Top and Bottom haven't been seen in SML in a hot minute, but if you remember them when they were on screen, you'll remember that they were very obviously into each other a little too much. Most of their appearances consist of them being called through 911, and them trying to solve the problem in a very gay way, but usually not being very helpful at all, with them often just wanting to, let's just say, explore each other a little better. In videos like SML movie Bad Jeffy, we see that Brooklyn Guy calls Officer Top and Bottom in order to help them decide what to do with Jeffy after he stole a PS4, but whenever they get in the house, all they can do do is be all over each other. They talk about the stuff they did before they got there, get a little physical with each other, and then leave to go have a good time in the other room.
Oh, God. Okay, just focus, you two. Wait, where's your uniform?
I lost it, but I'll get on all fours to try and find it.
Moving on from those two lovebirds, let's take a look at a much more psycho lovebird in SML, that being Puppet Ken specifically. In SML movie Spokane, we see the boys hanging out, and then Cody claims that Ken wants first dibs when Junior breaks open the Flintstone gummies. Junior and Joseph get fed up with Cody, always claiming that Ken speaks when he clearly doesn't, and this causes Cody to create a puppet version of Ken that has a moving mouth so it looks like it speaks. Junior and Joseph ask the puppet a bunch of questions, but this facade falls apart whenever Cody blows it, showing to his friends that the puppet still can't talk. Later that night, however, the puppet Ken comes alive somehow and decides to take revenge on Cody for being insulted by his friends. He comes back to Junior's house and brutally murders Joseph, asking them if Junior wants to do butt stuff. Cody eventually saves Junior, claiming that he has to kill Junior in order to protect Cody's honor, but Cody refuses to let everyone die. Ken then decides that he has to kill everyone because of this, but is eventually tricked by Cody into being burned alive, so he's stopped.
All right, Ken, let me light this candle.
So yeah, that certainly makes Ken a little bit messed up in the head, with him ready to kill for Cody. But our next character is also messed up in the head, but that's just because she's dumb. And that next character is Karen. In SML, Karen has been married to Brooklyn Guy for basically the entire time that she's been on screen. But it just seems like no matter what Brooklyn Guy does, she will absolutely not break up with him. We'll dive a little bit deeper into what Brooklyn Guy has done when we get to him later on the list. But even throughout all the times that Brooklyn Guy has clearly done things with no remorse, Karen still remains faithful to him. The main reason for this is that honestly it just seems like she wouldn't be able to function without Brookie, as we see in episodes like SML movie The Life of Brooklyn Guy. In this video, we see that Karen relies on Brooklyn Guy to do several things, like going to the grocery store, paying for her nails to get done, and for somebody to cook competently after she burns the lasagna. The closest Karen has ever gotten to evidently cheating on Brooklyn Guy comes in SML movie Brooklyn Guy's Switch, where she cheats with Jonathan, but she doesn't even realize it's him because she's in Brookie's body.
Whoa, Bitey, 5 times?
Yeah, I kept thinking of my mom.
So that's the end of the extremely faithful characters. But now let's move on to our next category of characters who have definitely had their fair share of flirts with other people. And to start, let's look at Cody. You would think that he's a pretty faithful dude to Ken. And when you look at the history of Cody, you see the pretty obvious reasons why. Cody and Ken's relationship began all the way back in SML movie Bowser Jr. Summer Vacation, where whenever the gang had an opportunity to pick out a toy, Cody picked a doll that he was very overly attracted to. However, Cody's life changed forever when Timmy Huckerdoo came into the scene for Cody in SML movie Junior the Crazy Boyfriend. In this video, we see that Penelope is invited over for a birthday party for Susie Huckerdoo, but Junior is jealous about Timmy being there. Cody eventually crashes with Junior and finds out very quickly and easily that Timmy is nothing for Junior to worry about, and as such, the two of them learn about each other very quickly.
Hello?
What do you need?
I need hungry hippos?
He's busy.
What?
Since this, Cody can't really decide between the two of them, leading to a constant love triangle still existing today. Moving forward, let's take a look at another student of YU Dumb Elementary School, that being Roy Githard. Putting aside Roy Githard being an obvious fill-in for the drama between Logan and Chili back in 2020, Roy as a character is quite the ladies' man, and has no struggles flirting with other people. One of the best examples we see of Roy being the class player is an SML movie The School Dance. In this video, we see that the school is having a school dance for all of the students, with Jackie Chu offering a nice reward for the student who takes his daughter to the dance. Junior tries to ask the new girl Maria, but is hilariously rejected. Later at the dance, we see that Roy was not able to get Maria to dance, but also ended up getting every girl at the dance, including Sparkle and Ping and Pong.
Well, at least you guys have your dates.
But wait, ping pong?
Sprinkle! Where your dates at?
What?
Roy has them!
Ooh, get hard!
Throughout this time of SML, Roy has been seen as the master of flirting with girls and being cool for everyone else around him. The trend of Roy getting all these girls carries on for him all the way up until PJ Crenshaw came into the scene, dethroning Roy as the cool kid and ladies man of the classroom. Reaching our last character in the category, we have the one and only Black Yoshi. Black Yoshi, throughout his time in SML, has been somewhat faithful, with some notable exceptions. He's been pretty faithful to his girlfriend Delilah when we first met her in SML movie Black Yoshi's Girlfriend, up until he got a little too disrespectful towards her, and she left him for Popeye later on. Since this breakup, we've for sure seen him get his fair share of examples where he's enjoying flirting around. Like when we see him flirt with a girl so she doesn't have to pay for a pizza in Black Yoshi's job interview, having a prostitute named Sasha over whenever he got super rich, or even the most ridiculous example, when he took out a trash bag for dinner in Jeffy's lunch money.
Now, I don't know why Mario wanted me to take you out. I mean, you cute and all, but you ain't really my type, man. I'm into the black, heavy-duty trash bags, if you know what I'm talking about.
Making our way to the characters who are certainly guilty of fooling around with other people, let's take a look at Marvin. Marvin might be more of a ladies' man than some people realize. As most people could think at first, Marvin just simply deals with Rose and her many ex-boyfriends. But you'd be wrong. Marvin has actually had several relationships with other people throughout the course of SML, with one of those relationships being his long-standing relationship with Peach that we saw in the very early days of SML. This relationship lasted for quite a while, up until Rose came into the scene. We also see that Marvin had no problem looking at another woman in the strip club when Rose and him were in a fight in SML movie Jeffy's New Stepmom, with him even taking her home and almost getting busy with her. And if we want to look at Marvin's most infamous fling, we don't have to look any further than his literal next door neighbor, Suzanne Huckerdoo. We see that Suzanne simply can't seem to get enough of Marvin, as we see her pursue him in episodes like Magic Marvin, where she calls Marvin as a stripper to her house for some services, or in SML movie Marvin the Pool Boy, where she definitely had a good time exposing herself to him frequently.
Why don't you come over here and put some lotion on my back?
Well, ma'am, I really just need to clean the pool. That's my job.
And my front.
Ma'am, can you please put a shirt on? That's very inappropriate.
Oh, come on now, don't be shy.
Moving on, let's take a look at Chef Pee-Pee, whose instances of fooling around are much stranger than anyone else by far. To be fair to him though, he's had some pretty normal relationships. We see that he's been with Suzanne Huckerdoo like Marvin has, as well as being with Lola and fighting for her affection with Junior in SML movie The Maid. He also had a quick little fling with the lunch lady in SML movie The Lunch Lady. Unfortunately for him, however, his normal relationships mostly end there, as one of his most infamous and NSFW relationships happens in SML movie The Turkey Problem. In this episode, we see that Timmy was trying to get a new turkey after he screwed up and overcooked his family's turkey, so he came to Chef Pee-Pee at the SML house. But he's right on time for Chef Pee-Pee to have an extremely strange time with the turkey.
Yeah, right there, girl. Goddamn.
Chef Pee-Pee, are you in there?
Hold on just a second. Basting the turkey. Give me a minute.
Yeah, this scene was crazy enough for Logan to have to cut it out of the video in post because it got demonetized. So that sucks. Chef Pee-Pee also spent the entire video of SML movie Chef Pee-Pee the Father thinking and running from the fact that he actually got Suzanne Huckerdoo pregnant on one of their earlier late night meetups. But thankfully, this turned out not to be true, leading Chef Pee-Pee to get back to his normal life. So that's Chef Pee-Pee for you. But what about a character that Brooklyn Guy might tell you is the biggest bop in SML? Well, that character would be none other than Deborah. Deborah's tons of flings aren't often as black and white as Brooklyn Guy might say, as we see that he tells us that she has a ton of different relationships, like being with another guy named Dave, or the other time that he mentions the very important detail during the game of life of what she did in the Walmart parking lot.
Where's my wife? Let's look for her. Hey, where is that bitch? Where'd she go? Oh, there she is. Right there. Getting the train run on her in the Walmart parking lot. Yeah.
However, when we actually do see Deborah on screen, it's pretty obvious that the only messing around she'll do is messing around with some food. She couldn't be concerned about Brooklyn Guy, but was super thankful for the fries, milkshakes, and various other things that he brought. Glad she's getting her priorities straight. Moving on past Deborah and her thousands of pounds, let's take a look at the next category of characters, where we see some characters who are no doubt guilty of having some affairs, and have just flat out cheated on people. And to start, let's take a look at Junior. Junior is only 17 at the time of uploading this video, but even in that short time, he just cannot seem to keep anything in his pants whatsoever. The first time we see this is in SML movie Toad's Girlfriend. In this video, we see that Toad brings his girlfriend Toadette over to meet Junior, with Toadette already thinking that Junior's hot. Instead of being a good friend, Junior literally sends Toad out of the room just so he can make out with Toadette. He eventually apologizes to Toad for this, but clearly doesn't learn anything from this whole episode, as he makes out with Joseph's girlfriend at the end of the video. Even almost a decade later, in SML movie Junior Scary Bump, we see that Junior still ended up learning nothing during all these years. In the video, we see that Cody brings over his new neighbor Tina, and Junior and Joseph are both overly attracted to her for some reason, even when she's a little weird looking. Cody has to remind Junior that he's still dating Penelope, but this doesn't stop Junior from making Joseph be a lookout so he can make out with Tina, all until Cody comes back.
All right, dude, the coast is clear. Get your willy wet. Okay, Joseph. So, Tina, you want to make out?
Yeah, duh.
Yeah, dude, that's what I'm talking about. Yeah, dude.
This whole video is a great example of karma, as Junior spends the whole time being worried that he has herpes, and him having it to eventually tell Penelope that he cheated, even if he gets no consequences. Thankfully, he has no herpes, but it's still ridiculous. Moving on to another red-haired character in the SML universe, we have our next character that has had their fair share of affairs, that being Brooklyn Guy. We've mentioned that Brooklyn Guy has struggled with being loyal earlier on this list, but how bad really is he? Well, pretty bad. Like we mentioned, Brooklyn Guy hates Karen pretty bad, and because of this, he often does things without really thinking of the consequences. And we see this happen in episodes like SML movie Brooklyn Guy's Makeover. In this video, we see that Brooklyn Guy wants a makeover after being called bald and ugly at the hospital, and he calls Chef Pee-Pee's cousin, Gay Tony, to come make him look better. He gets the makeover complete with new legs, and very shortly afterwards, he can't seem to help himself and goes all out, going to the strip club, and even brings home a stripper to sleep with him. Even after all of this, he still can't help but to do more terrible things, like we see him do in SML movie The Free Pizza. In this video, we see that Junior, Jeffy, Cody, and Joseph plan to order a pizza and stall the delivery driver for 10 minutes so that they can get the pizza for free. But they get distractions like Hansel, Zachary Mall, and most importantly, they put a prostitute at the front door. Brooklyn Guy goes one round with her, ready to go in, but he's tempted to literally go for her again, which he ends up doing.
Oh my god, do you have handcuffs? That'd be so hot!
I could go again.
Oh, I think they're going for round 2.
Oh, we got this. Free pizza.
So yeah, Brooklyn Guy, maybe you should get it together, dude. But to finish off this category, let's take a look at another cheating father in SML, Hank Huckerdoo. The Huckerdoo's joke in SML comes from the fact that they seem like a normal family that is holding some dark secrets. In SML movie Marvin the Pool Boy, we see even after Suzanne exposes herself to Marvin, Hank not only claims that he cheated on Suzanne at least 6 times in the past, but we also see him encourage Marvin to be with Suzanne, just to be fair to her for cheating on her so much.
My wife's trying to sleep with you.
I know, and you're okay with that?
Yeah, I've cheated on my wife countless times. Too many times to count on one hand.
Well, count on the other hand.
Oh, well in that case, 6. I've cheated on my wife 6 times, and I'm giving her a hall pass to cheat on me once with any guy she wants.
So hey, while he cheats a lot, I guess it's good that he tries to be fair and lets Suzanne do it too. And trust me, she definitely does. But now, let's take a look at our second to last category of characters that certainly have no issue getting around and getting with tons of people. And to start, let's look at Mr. Goodman. Mr. Goodman, as we've already stated, is without a doubt one of the richest characters in SML. And with all of that wealth, it's definitely no surprise that he spends a lot of time and money getting pretty much any woman that he wants. We see that Mr. Goodman has a maid named Patricia that he tells not to wear underwear for specifically easy access, and constantly tries to thank him by going down on him. And we also see that he has a girl that he keeps around named Mercedes Benz Over, that he drives around with him and goes down on him in the car as well. He's also claimed to have multiple ex-wives, including the mother of Richard Goodman and Benjamin. His most current wife that we see is in SML movie Mr. Goodman's wife, and she has literally no option but to get plastic surgery to look just like him, simply because he claims that looking like him is the only thing that he finds attractive.
Excuse me, ma'am, have you seen Goodman?
Hey, Marvin.
What, Goodman? Why are you dressed like a woman?
I'm not Mr. Goodman. I'm Mrs. Goodman, as evidenced by the tits.
Oh.
You want to squeeze them?
No, I don't want to squeeze them.
Oh, come on, Marvin. I can tell you want to squeeze them.
He eventually discovers in this video that Mrs. Goodman was trying to cheat on him with Marvin, and eventually kicks her out. And let's be real, he's probably gonna get another ex-wife in the future. So yeah, Goodman certainly gets around, but even with all of this money and the possibility for limitless girls, he still can't seem to beat the next character on our list in terms of raw bopness, with that character being Suzanne Huckerdoo. Suzanne has already been mentioned several times in this video already, but that's because she just simply has been with so many characters in SML throughout the years. We already know that she spent plenty of time pursuing Marvin, and like we mentioned earlier, we even think that she's pregnant with Chef Pee-Pee's baby after he substituted him with Marvin to sleep with her, simply because they have been together so many times. However, these examples absolutely pale in comparison to her most insane example of getting around, which we see in SML movie The Stakeout. In this video, we see that Brooklyn Guy and Simmons are tasked with trying to catch Face Eater, and do this by having a stakeout at the Huckerdoo house to try to catch him in action. But whenever they get there, they see that Suzanne Huckerdoo brings in several men into the house, and throughout the night, I'll let you use your imagination on what's going on whenever Brooklyn Guy eventually barges in.
Oh, hi there.
I'm here to get down to business.
All right, come on in.
Look, Simmons, that dark-complected man just went into the house.
To finish this category, let's take a look at another mother in SML that somehow is even worse than Suzanne, that being the biggest whale herself, Judith. Cody's mom has some absolutely insane feats under her belt when it comes to her experience with other men. For starters, she has an OnlyFans account that she uses to make tons of money for her family, with other people being so interested in her business that she literally hands out lunch cards for guys, with most of them having it maxed out. She's also no stranger to cheating on Tyrone and being physical with other guys. We see this when we realize that she cheated on Tyrone with a pizza delivery guy, who is Cody's real father. And in SML movie Stuck, we see that when she comes to the SML house looking for Cody, she not only assaults Chef Pee-Pee, but she also bangs Brooklyn Guy right on the couch instead of continuing to look for Cody. And they even try to go a second time. Yeah, definitely a great example of a mother right there for Cody.
I like your mustache. Oh, you do? Yeah.
Come on, guys, be serious! There's people missing, damn it! Hey guys, I think the cops are here!
But now, finally, we've made it to our last category. And the characters in this category seem like they've made it their personal life goal to get around with everyone on the entire planet, it seems. And to start, let's take a look at Cody's other parent, Tyrone. Poor Cody, man. He can't catch a break when it comes to having good, loyal, faithful parents, am I right? Cause if you think Judith's bad, Tyrone is just on a completely other level. There are almost countless examples that we can point to for him being a massively unfaithful husband. Like when he changes a girl's name in his phone to Pizza Hut, so Judith doesn't know that he's cheating in SML movie Cody's Parent Problem. Or another time where he flat out admits that he's cheated with 3 different women long before Cody was even born, in SML movie The Time Machine. But his worst sin, however, comes in SML movie Cody's New Family, where in this video we see that Judith and Cody get home from Chick-fil-A, and Judith hears some interesting noises from Cody's bedroom, and eventually barges in on Tyrone cheating on Judith with another woman, Bukisha. Judith is obviously furious about this, but the situation becomes much worse when Judith goes outside and sees a child that looks like Bukisha, and finds out that Tyrone had a daughter with her, meaning that this affair has been going on for multiple years now. Yikes, I don't know how to come back from that one, but Tyrone certainly does.
Did you have a daughter with that other woman?
Yes, baby. Look, it was an accident, though. We were eating at a restaurant.
She started choking. I did the Heimlich maneuver and it just slipped in.
Moving on past Tyrone, let's take a look at somebody whose pure bop energy even completely outpaces Tyrone, with that being Crystal the hooker. Crystal, Sparkle, Sasha, whatever you want to call her, she's not only had a bunch of names, but she has also been with plenty of other people in SML. Throughout her time on the show, we've seen her be a hooker to hang out with Black Yoshi when he got rich, Sparkle in SML movie The Date when Brooklyn Guy tried to be with her and slip one past the goalie, and even as a prostitute when the boys want to hang out at the strip club, and claiming that she's been in enough relationships to somehow have 4.5 kids. However that works, I guess. Honestly, I think it's just best for everyone if you don't think about it too hard. But her most insane feat comes in SML movie Jeffy's gamer girl problem. In this video, we see that Jeffy finds out from the news that gamer girl 69 is selling her bathwater for $250 a jar, which is already gross enough. But then she goes into absolutely disgusting detail about how it's made, and we're gonna avoid that here. But even after explaining all these details, she literally mentions that she sold 10,000 jars of her bathwater, earning at least $250 million in the process. You're probably not surprised, but after hearing this, Jeffy and his friends not only buy a jar, but they also buy other disgusting things, like pizza, her underwear, and dirty socks. But now, we're finally at the end of the list with our most unfaithful SML character, and to nobody's surprise, it's Rose. We've already made a separate video before going over how much Rose gets around, but it truly cannot be overstated how ridiculous Rose is in SML. We know so far at least 8 different flings that she's had, from some pretty tame relationships like with D-Money and Dak, where it really isn't that crazy, to some absolutely insane relationships, like with Super D and Crush. In fact, Rose has had 3 superhero boyfriends throughout her time in SML, with their names being Super D, Super Big D, and Super Huge Long-Lasting Big Girthy D. And yes, those names mean exactly what you think. So whenever Rose introduces these ex-boyfriends and other characters ask why Rose gave them those nicknames, they have no problem explaining exactly why Rose calls them that.
Why are you called Super Big D?
Look, I don't even know myself. She started calling me that one day after I got out of the shower. She's like, hey, Super Big D. I'm like, no, my name's Bryce.
These nicknames also go both ways, as Crush has had no problem remembering his nickname for Rose when he sees her again in SML movie Jeffy and Junior's Hotel.
Crush?
Oh, Zero Gag Reflex Chick, what's up?
Stop.
That's a hell of a nickname. What, you know him?
Yeah, we met at a festival once. We shared a tent.
Yeah, we did.
Rose's craziness doesn't even seem to stop at humans either, as we literally see in SML movie Jeffy's Eggs that she gets a little busy with Tyrese the chicken in order to get some eggs from him. Unfortunately for Marvin, it doesn't even seem like that was much of a chore for her. So yeah, Rose is easily the most unfaithful character in SML, but you should subscribe because Rose will probably have some more ex-boyfriends that we're gonna figure out in the future. And while you're here, click the video on screen. I'm sure you'll love it.